Yes, that's right. We're gonna get into this Israeli Iran conflict, which, let's be honest, is basically over before it even started. Um, you have to love this about communist countries or countries that are run by dictators or authoritarians. Um, they always make it seem like they're tougher than they're like the bully on the corner. They boast, they yell, they propagandize, and then when it comes down to the fight, they get their ass kicked. You're seeing that with Russia. You're seeing it now with Iran. Of course, Syria folded a few months ago, and we're probably on the precipice of Iran, at least the government, not the country, the government folding. Um, with the Ayatollah maybe losing power, which I mean he's already ceded power to his second in command, who became second in command a few days ago after the other second in command had been killed by a missile attack. So things aren't going great for Iran. There's a lot of propaganda on social media right now, trying to hype up. This is what I've noticed ever since the Russian invasion of Ukraine happened. There are so many um, communist bots out there that just lie and report. And I get it. They're just going for the engagement. They're going to keep getting paid for people retweeting and commenting and liking their tweets. But you just have a lot of nonsense out there that it's so funny because when you actually engage them, they try to counter real quick with something funny, but when you hit them with facts, they just ignore you or block you. Man, again, most of these people are bots that don't even live either in the country they're representing. I heard like somewhere like a lot of them are out of India. Like you have a lot of these bot farms that basically use AI to put tweets out, like misinformation tweets out, which is kind of scary. But anyways, so we are sitting on the precipice. I mean, Iran basically has no defense systems left as far as the air goes. They can't stop any incoming rockets, really. Israel is basically just flying over their airspace 24/7, hitting whatever targets they want. Um, Iran has no air force. They're basically just hitting buttons and hoping that their missiles hit Israel. They're not actually. I mean, they're hitting some targets that that they're going for, but for the most part, they're just putting in coordinates and hitting it and hope it hits something. And unfortunately, a lot of it's hitting civilians, but a lot of them are getting shot down as well as just hitting nothing. Because I mean, Iran got a lot of their rocket information from Russia and North Korea, and needless to say, that's not the best place to get your advanced weaponry from. Um, so yeah, the rocket and missile barrage from Iran has slowed because they're running out of missiles. Um, are reports that the Iranian government officials fled Tehran and I think went to Oman or some other city in Iran. Just basically got the hell out of Dodge. The Ayatollah is bunkered underground because that's what people in those positions do. They bunker underground and force their civilians to take the brunt of everything, i.e., Saddam Hussein. But if you're not aware, I mean, this conflict, I think it's what in its sixth or seventh day. It started with Israel wanting to go after Iran because they stated that they were close to having nuclear capabilities, which Iran does not want to happen because, I mean, Israel does not want to happen because they are afraid that Iran would hit Israel with a nuke. So they've been after it for about 20, 25 years about, Iran not wanting them to get a nuclear device. But yeah, so they're just slinging missiles and rockets back and forth at each other right now. And I will say this: a lot of these again, with a lot of these propagandists, they put a bunch of fake videos out there. They put like video game clips or AI generated stuff. You can't believe a lot of these clips that you're seeing when it comes to these missile strikes, because unless it's from an official account or like this one here, this is AI. Note that it's this is all AI, but this person's trying to claim that this is in Iran. I saw somebody else trying to claim that this was in Israel and that Tel Aviv was taking hits. This is all BS. Don't believe. I mean, use your eyes, use your intelligence on this stuff to make sure that you know what you're looking at, because a lot of them are just complete bullcrap. It's just a bunch of lies. Um, but yeah, so we've got rockets going left and right into Israel and into Iran. The Iranian government has basically just disappeared. This man here is the crown prince. Um, I don't recall, but I think he might be related to the previous king of Iran that was um, burned the American flag while chanting "Death to America" and threatening to use the nuclear bomb against the American homeland. Yeah, all these guys are either dead or are fleeing. Um, there have been some pictures, and you don't know how real this is or what it is. Oh yeah, this lady here was doing propaganda for Iran live, and a bomb hits their building or a missile. خاک جمهوری اسلامی ایران و منطقه صدا و سیماست. آنچه که ملاحظه کردید تجاوز سیمای صدا الله. Okay, there it is. آنچه که ملاحظه and this person's up here is a piece of shit. فضای غبار آلوده استودیو Run, you little propaganda witch, run. So she's up here saying courage for that lady. Brave woman was just shamed the entire nation of sewer dweller baby killers. No, she's being forced to be on TV to read propaganda that isn't real. Just like you piece of shit. Under a regime that basically kills whoever they want at any age that they want and allows it. So I don't know who this person is, but and this probably isn't really them. This is probably a bot page. But yeah, she got served. She's lucky she didn't get killed. They were making her broadcast live on TV while missiles are raining down. I mean, that's ridiculous. So anyways, you're seeing stories like this where people of Iran are setting Ayatollah's face on fire, pictures of him. You have celebrations apparently going on. Some woman, this was from yesterday, but I mean, you can never be. I mean, this could have been through the protest. I mean, the fact that she's still wearing a mask makes you wonder if this was during the protests back in 2020. Apparently, Israel's Iranians are celebrating the attack on Iran by Israel, dancing. I'm pretty sure this is not in Iran. These are probably exiles that left Iran and are in other countries. This is definitely fake. Look, you can see how everything's moving around behind them. That's fake as hell. Yeah, you have that's probably fake. That looked like a UAV or a drone that was shot down. It wasn't a Iranian fighter jet. That's a drone being shot down. But you've seen it on TV. You've seen it happening with all this going on. There are reports, though, that the Iranian revolutionary leaders have fled to Amman. As I said, government negotiations have ceased. The Ayatollah bunkered in his bunker. Iranian military defectors are pledging allegiance to the prince. So, like I said, there's the prince of, and I don't know if he's actually related to the former king of Iran, who, when the revolution happened in '79, I believe it was, they exiled out. But that gentleman put a statement out, a video statement, telling the people of Iran to rise up against the regime. that he was ready to come into Iran and be the leader, and it would be like a democracy. That he already has a 100-day plan set up as far as how they would restore order, restore Iran to what it once was. Um, this hasn't been seen in my lifetime. I was talking to my mom over the weekend about this, and she was, wanting to know, it was talking about if, the people would rise up. And I told her the only way that people would rise up is if the Ayatollah was killed. You can kill the president, you can kill other officials in the government. As long as the Ayatollah is still alive or in country, people will only rise up to a point and then they'll back off. But if he is killed or is exiled from the country, then they'll definitely rise up. Iran basically has no army right now. They don't want to fight. They don't want to be any part of this. And at some point, the people, if they realize that their officials have left, will rise up. Again, you've had protests for years through Iran, but it's always been a give and take. They either quell the riots down or the protests down by killing people. That's happened through the years, killing people, arresting people, or they make some sort of an agreement, but then they later go back on it and they arrest all the like protesters that were leading the protest, and they sit in jail, either are tortured or just sit there until they die. That's how their government handles things. So it's interesting to see this. Will it happen? Right now, I think you're at an 80% chance that you're about to see a regime change in Iran in the next 2 to 7 days. Um, Sorry, my phone made a noise. It's the next 2 or 7 days. I mean, that could always switch around, but this is what I feel. I think the United States is letting Iran do most of the damage, or excuse me, letting Israel do most of the damage in Iran. And when it comes to the nuclear facility that Iran needs bunker busters to hit, which they don't have, two things will either happen. Trump will still try to make a deal with the Ayatollah, and it might be something like you can leave the country, you can be exiled, and with this new government, they will work a deal that they will dismantle the Iran, the nuclear facility, or if they are more pro-West, you'll have Western influence in which they will help them build a nuclear facility, but not let them use it for weapon advancement, just for energy advancement. The other option is the United States comes in the next few days, and with a bunker bomb, it blows up the nuclear facility and also kills the Ayatollah. There's such a slim chance, 5% chance that they let him live and come back to rule his people, because it would just look like another thing to the people of Iran that was promised by the West, that we'll be there, we'll be there, we'll be there, stand up, fight against your government, and when they do, the West goes, oh, well, we can't do anything. That's not our country. You get to. This is the preface moment of when something needs to happen. And I think most of the world realizes that. That's why most of the world, besides Russia and China, are pretty much quiet on it, because they realize it needs to and probably will happen. Russia and China are going to make noise, and they won't be able to do anything. I don't care what you bots from Russia or China say. They will not do a damn thing because they can't do a damn thing. Russia is quagmired in Ukraine for the last 3 years. Hey, 3 days. Remember, guys? 3 days to Kyiv? You morons. Now they're stuck there. They found out that their weaponry sucks. China is looking at it going, well, we get our weapons from Russia, some from Iran. We give Iran weapons. We give Russia weapons. And the Western weaponry is utterly destroying the weapons that we have. China, because there was that time that there was a thought that China might invade Taiwan when they were watching Russia go into Kyiv or go into Ukraine. And if Russia would have taken Ukraine in 3 days, you would have seen China go into Taiwan. But it hadn't happened. And so China backed off on that. You probably won't see China think about that for another 10 years because their weapons just aren't there. They need to get on a level to where they're equal or a little better than Western weapons, and they are still about 5 to 7 years off from that. Um, So China and Russia they'll shake their fists and do whatever. The only reason they're upset is because they're about to lose an ally in the Middle East. They're about to lose an ally on the playing field, and it'll just be China and Russia alone with the little pinky finger North Korea down there. So again, Tusi TV is reporting Iran army is defecting to the Crown Prince of Tehran. A lot of defectors, different sections of power competing for control. It also appears Russia withdrew their support because of disputes. It said the Iranian army is nowhere to be. And this is what happens in these countries. It's the same thing that happened in Iraq when the United States went in. The Iraqi army, besides the most militant of men, basically just scattered. They're like, "Fuck this!" Put their weapons down and got the hell out. Even the Iraqi Revolutionary Army, Revolutionary Guard, whatever it was, Hussein's most, best troops close. They even were like, "Fuck this," and back down. And that's what you're going to see with Iran. You're just going to see the army go, "Forget this. We're out. We're not doing this for this moron. We don't get paid enough for this," and they're going to be out. If you've seen through the Middle East in the last 10 or 15 years, all those dictatorships are falling apart. A lot of that has to do with Russia and even China not being able to supply funds to them. And once the money stops flowing, the people start realizing, wait a minute, what the hell? And they stand up and they fight against their government. And you've seen that happen a lot. Again, I think we're in the last few days of this Ayatollah-run government, and I think, and you would hope so for the betterment of the Iranian people, that that would happen and it would end. But you just don't know in this world. Again, I'm giving an 80% chance that that happens. But day by day, hour by hour, things change. While Iranian defectors are trying to contact Mossad, the Islamic regime in Iran is so freaked out. Defectors making a deal with Assad that they're shutting down the internet. So they're worried about them defecting to Mossad that the government shut down the internet. So basically, right now, Iran is blacked out, which that happens in these countries. That's what North Korea does. China blocks you, and Russia blocks you from going to specific websites because they don't want you to see the actual truth of things. Um, so yeah, say what you will about this, and all you friggin' Russian and Chinese bots can eat a big old dick. You're all full of shit. It looks like it's going to come to Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. I'm not going to say his name right. He needs. Oh, they're saying he needs to get into contact with these guys. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's coming to an end. And like I said, the only people that are really upset about this will be the Russians and the Chinese, and that's because they are losing an ally, not just in the Middle East, but in the world. And without that ally, they lose significant power and significant stance, which Russia is basically a pariah state at this moment. Um, yeah, it's only gonna last so long. I think, like I said, in the next few days, you'll find out that the Ayatollah is either dead or that he is exiling to probably Russia, because I think Russia has already offered. So they have the former Syrian president and the Ayatollah living in Russia somewhere. I don't think that the United States wants to commit troops into Iran. If we do decide to attack, it'll be by air, kind of like what was that war in '99? The, I think it was with the Bosnians and Czechs. Or so, I mean, you're going back almost 27 years now, but we just basically air warred. We flew sorties and bombed the hell out of a bunch of people, and that was pretty much it. Um, but yes, this is Iran getting hit again today. I think we are seeing the end of this regime. Yeah, that's been around since 1979. Um, it's hitting Iran. And people saying that there was, you got people back and forth saying there was so and so and so and so. But yeah, so let me know what you think when it comes to this. There's a lot of people that watch these videos that, I mean, I was born after the Iranian Revolution, so I've never known an Iran that was free. Seeing pictures of it in the 70s and 60s when it was more of like a pro-Western country where people had more freedoms to do what they wanted. I've never seen an Iran like that before. I know that they are like Cuba. They have millions of exiles that have left the country because of that regime, which makes you wonder how long Cuba can last. I mean, it would benefit Cuba to drop Russia and to become more of a democracy because that is a beautiful island and they can do a lot with it. But as long as they're controlled by individuals like that, Cuba will always be like this until their people decide to rise up. But that'll be hard to do. But yeah, I think we're seeing an end to it. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, as I'm supposed to say, but never do. But yeah, besides that, hey man, find a good earth and dig it and get outside more and stay off the internet because it is deadly to your brain. All right, later.